Will you apologize to those 700,000 Ontarians who now must go to a food bank to put food on their table as a result of your government?
In terms of apology, I think the members should apologize to all Canadians to have voted for every measures that would support Canadians, whether it's about childcare, whether it's about dental care, whether it's about any program that helped Canadians, the member has voted against. That's not exactly good, Madam Speaker.
Can the minister tell us how much his government will borrow to cover the debt for the new spending?
The member would note that we are very fiscally prudent. And with our team, we're managing the finance of Canada. Really have her constituent look at this great budget, but she will have to wait just a little bit longer, but it's going to be great and she's going to be proud of that budget.
Hey gang, what's up? Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. Another wild night in the House of Commons. Finance Minister Francois Philippe Champagne is facing some very serious Conservative MPs. To start things off, we've got Jasraj Halan. He's from Calgary. He's the shadow finance minister, so heads up FPC. Following up Jasraj, we've got Kyle Cpac. He's the shadow minister of labor. He's from Ontario. Then we've got a rookie MP. This is Sandra Kubina. She's from Newmarket, Ontario. To wrap things up, we've got Greg McLean, a very experienced multi-term MP from Calgary. Heads up. Francois Philippe Champagne knows how to play this game, man. Woo, let's check it out. He will take no lessons from these Conservatives. Let's take a peek.
We'll take no lessons from these Conservatives, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, yeah.
We'll begin with the member of the opposition, the member for Calgary East.
Chair, I'll be spending my time three ways. During the election, the Prime Minister said he would collect $20 billion in U.S. tariffs. Can the minister confirm on what date will they fully be collected?
The Honourable Minister.
First of all, let me congratulate you for your role as President or Chair Speaker this evening.
The member for Calgary
Thanks
East.
to the official for being with us tonight. As the member will know, Mr. Speaker, we had the largest countermeasure to face.
There was no date in there. Minister, on what date will $20 billion be collected that the Prime Minister said would?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's a real privilege to be with you tonight and answering questions from the member. As he knows, we have mounted the largest counter tariff in probably Canada's history to face the unjustified and illegal tariff that have been imposed by the United States.
The Minister refuses to answer what date they'll be collected. Will the $20 billion be collected by the time the Minister gets around to making his budget?
Honourable Minister.
Speaker, it's a pleasure to answer that question. The member would know, and we've been public, we have collected so far $1.7 billion in counter tariff in Canada, Mr.
The Honourable Member.
Will the rest of the tariffs be collected by the time the budget comes out? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister.
Speaker, as I said, my honourable colleague is a very experienced member of this House. I've already answered that question saying it's $1.7 billion that we've been collecting, and these sums will be used to support our workers and our industry.
Will the Minister collect the remaining amount of the $20 billion?
The member is an experienced member of this House. He would know that we have counter tariff in place, we have collected money, and we've been very clear that these sums will be used to support workers and industry in Canada.
Honourable Member.
Will the Minister collect the rest of the $20 billion that's outstanding from what the Prime Minister said?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in this House, what we all want is to have no tariff on Canadian industry and on workers, because this is affecting our economy, it's affecting community across the country. So,
the Honourable Member.
I think that as a no. How much in tariffs will be collected this month in June?
The Honourable Minister.
As I've answered that question already a couple of times, we have collected $1.7 billion so far, and this sum of money will be used to support our worker and our industry as we...
The Honourable Member.
Answer. How much in tariffs will be collected in July?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we'll be happy and the member will be able to see when the tariff have been collected. We always render the number public, but so far it's been $1.7 billion.
The Honourable Member.
If the Minister doesn't know, the officials are sitting there and can ask them as well. How much in tariffs will be collected in September?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I would say all Canadians expect and would hope that by September we may not have to collect any tariff, because Prime Minister has been clear, we're going to fight, we're going to protect, and we're going to build this country.
Honourable member.
Tariff collection was a part of the Liberals' costed platform. Now there will be a downfall. How big will the deficit be if the remaining amount will not be collected?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I said already, what we want, not just the government, but I would say all Canadians, is that there be no tariff imposed on Canadian industry and our workers. That's what we're fighting every step of the way, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member.
Can the minister tell us on what date the budget will be tabled?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have already answered that question. We said there will be a full budget, a great budget actually, a budget that looks forward, that is ambitious, that is going to be making Canada resilient, and it's going to be in the fall of
The Honourable member.
In that budget, how much will they project will be collected from the U.S. tariffs?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as you would hope, I'm sure, I know you would hope that is by that time there would be no tariff imposed on Canada, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable member.
If there is a shortfall in that budget from U.S. tariffs, how does the minister plan on addressing that? Will it be by borrowing, taxing, or cutting?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we want to build a Canada strong. We want to invest in this country. We want to invest in our worker. We want to invest in our industry. And I know the member, he also wants a very ambitious and prosperous Canada.
Member.
Can the minister confirm, is he saying that he won't collect the total $20 billion in U.S. tariffs? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I'm sure you hope, and all Canadians, is that there would be no tariff. And so therefore, as you would appreciate, this is not something that we wish.
Move on to next member now.
Oh, yeah.
The Honourable Member for Dufferin-Caledon.
Thank you. Minister, do you know how many Ontarians regularly used a food bank in 2015?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I think the member would appreciate by reducing taxes, we're helping all Canadians. The measure we just announced will help 22 million Canadians.
The Honourable Member has to indicate how. The Honourable Member has to indicate how he will be sharing his time, please.
This is going to start getting fun again.
Just say your splitting your 3 ways.
I'm splitting my time 3 ways. Thank you.
Big Kyle
Minister, the
Cpac,
answer
yeah.
is 353,000 Ontarians regularly use the food bank in
What's up,
2015.
Pickles?
How many Ontarians are regularly using the food bank as of today?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, the colleague will be pleased to learn that the tax cut we have offered is going to help 22 million Canadians and a number, obviously, of Ontarians. So I'm happy that he voted in favor of that particular.
Honourable Member.
That question is 1 million. Over a decade of your government and you being a minister, the number of people in Ontario who regularly use a food bank has tripled. It's gone up by almost 700,000. Will you apologize to those 700,000 Ontarians who now must go to a food bank to put food on their table as a result of your government?
Remind the Honourable Member to speak through the chair and not directly to another member. The Honourable Minister.
Speaker, in terms of apology, I think the member should apologize to all Canadians to have voted for every measures that would support Canadians, whether it's about childcare, whether it's about dental care, whether it's about any program that help Canadians, the member has voted against. That's not exactly good, Madam Speaker.
For Dufferin-Caledon.
Madam Speaker, his indifference, this minister's indifference to the 1 million Ontarians regularly using a food bank to feed their families, I find quite frankly disgusting. How many Ontarians in 2015 were full-time employed and went to the food bank in 2015?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, one thing that every member in this House should be careful is about being authentic. When you vote against measure that helps the people you represent, you cannot stand in this House and do moral to other members. The member has voted against measure to help Canadians, and he knows that very well.
Member.
He doesn't know the answer to the question, he can just say it. We're talking about people that have to go to a food bank. That's their track record. The answer is 8%. The question is, how many members using food, how many Canadians using a food bank regularly now are full-time employed in 2025 as opposed to 2015?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I'm sure the people watching at home tonight are wondering, What is he going to tell to the people using the food bank why he voted against program to help them? That's really the question that people watching at home are asking tonight.
Honourable member.
Madam Chair, these programs were in place for the last 10. These programs have been in place, and yet the numbers at food banks keep rising. So the minister knows the number of people using food banks now who are full-time employed is 25%. It is also tripled after 10 years of this government. Will the member apologize to those people who are full-time employed and now must go to a food bank to feed their families?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, would the member apologize to the children of Canada and the children in his riding when you voted against a food program for children? Madam Speaker, when you make allegation in this House, you have to be careful about the answer. He's voted against program to help children.
Member.
People in Ontario regularly using food banks are children. Your programs don't work. Minister, you said in 2023 that you were going to make grocery prices...
Can I remind the Honourable Member through the chair, please?
Chair.
I didn't say anything. You were saying you didn't say anything, so please.
The member said that in 2023 that he was going to work hard at making groceries more affordable. Did grocery prices go up or down after he made that statement?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, the question that Canadians are asking tonight when they're watching, and I have a lot of respect for the member, but why did he vote against a national school food program for children? That's the question that people are asking tonight. If he wants to go in this line of questioning, I'm happy to answer, but people...
Madam Chair, the member knows that grocery prices have gone up every single time since he made that statement, so he either misled Canadians or he was completely incompetent in his job to bring down grocery prices. Which one was it?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, again, I don't want to go in this line of questioning to the member because I know he's an honourable member, but why did he vote against the program to support children? The National Child Care Program, Madam Speaker, if you want to go in that line of questioning, you have to be able to take the heat from his constituents who are going to ask, why did you vote against?
Oh, yeah.
He's a
The
little
Honourable
dog.
Member for Newmarket Aurora.
Madam Chair, the minister prepared a spending plan, but he did not make the time to prepare a plan on how he was going to pay for it. Why is that?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, can I take the opportunity to welcome the member to this House, and I'll be happy to answer all her questions. But first of all, I think she deserves to be welcome in this House. We're delighted to have her with us tonight.
Member for Newmarket Aurora.
Many thanks for that, Madam Chair. I do request an answer, though. Why did the minister make the time to prepare a spending plan, but not a plan on how he was going to pay for it?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, the colleague will be pleased to see in the main estimates for Finance Canada, 99% of the funds requested are for statutory program. Only 1% of it is for operation of Finance Canada.
Honourable Member for Newmarket Aurora.
For 60 years, governments have tabled budgets in the spring. Why can this minister do the same?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, you would say since 1994, 5 budgets have been tabled after the fiscal year began, and a number of times it's been under Conservative government, Madam Speaker.
Member for Newmarket Aurora.
Does the minister not have the will to prepare a budget this spring?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Madam Speaker, not only I have the will, but I have the desire to present a great budget for Canadians that she can be proud and sell in her own jurisdiction and in her own riding.
Honourable Member.
He has the will. Does he not have the time, then, to prepare it?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I know she's anxious to present it to her constituent, but it's going to be a great budget. We're going to build Canada strong. We're the true north, strong and free.
Honourable Member.
If the budget will be so great, why is he afraid of tabling it this spring?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I know that she's eager to present it to her constituents and really have her constituent look at this great budget, but she will have to wait just a little bit longer, but it's going to be great and she's going to be proud of that budget.
Honourable Member.
Madam Chair, there's an affordability crisis. People are going hungry and they're going to the food bank. The hunger in the affordability crisis is not going to wait till the fall. We need a budget this spring. Why is the minister forcing Canadians to wait?
Minister.
Madam Chair, we did not wait. That's why the first thing we did in this House, and the member voted in favor, was a Ways and Means motion to reduce taxes for 22 million Canadians. She should be proud. She can put that in her householder to inform all her constituents that she voted.
The honourable member.
The measure was going to reduce taxes by $800, but the cost of food is also going up by $800. It means 800 minus 800, zero. Canadians are not going to be better off. So will the minister please deliver a budget?
Minister.
Madam Speaker, you know, humility in politics is the best thing you can have. I don't want to correct the member, but in fact, the member should know that people in her riding can save up to $840 for a family with 2 incomes. This is great. This is a great news, and I'm sure she's going to put that in her householder.
Member.
So we're talking about a difference of $40, but I have another question. If single mothers can budget to feed their kids, why can this minister budget to run this country?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I'm sure the member will appreciate that the first order of business was to reduce taxes for 22 million Canadians. There's a lot of people in her riding watching tonight, and they'll be happy to see that she voted to reduce their taxes and support a Liberal government.
Okay, we're talking about the respect of taxpayers' dollars. So I have a scenario, an example. Will the minister hand me $486,000 today if I give him a list of the investments I'm going to make, but I cannot tell him how I'm going to pay him until the fall?
The honourable minister.
Madam Chair, she should take comfort that the first measure passed by this government and this House was a tax cut for the middle class. I know this is good for her because she's going to be able to go in her riding, and she said she voted in favor of a great Liberal proposal, which is to reduce taxes for 22 million Canadians.
Honourable member.
It's like the answer is no. So why is he asking Canadians for a blank check for his spending?
The honourable minister.
Madam Speaker, again, you know, the members should be very happy because the first order of business was to reduce taxes for people. That's what Canadians care about. It's up to $840 for a family with 2 incomes. This is great news for people in the right.
A very, very brief question from the honourable member.
Does the minister actually think it's right to show the deficit after the money spent?
Honourable Minister, very brief answer, 5 seconds.
Madam Speaker, the great thing which is responsible is to cut tax as quickly as possible for Canadians. They need a break, and we're there for them.
Oh, yeah.
Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Quick question. What is the Government of Canada going to spend on interest payments this fiscal year to the Minister?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
He would be asking if I can say oil and gas or something like that, Mr. Speaker. You know, I can assure you that we are proud of what we produce in Canada, and we want to build infrastructure so we can...
The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
Well, the answer, Mr. Speaker, is $49 billion. Next question. How much was the government forecast to spend on interest in the year's estimates last year?
The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
I asked the question, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear it.
How much was the government's...
Question if I can say budget. Obviously, I can say budget as well.
Centre.
How much did the government forecast to spend on interest in last year's estimates?
Member is a very experienced member, and he reads the Fiscal Monitor. I know him. He's the type of member who would really focus on the Fiscal Monitor to get his information, and I know if he's reading...
Centre.
Well, to help the minister again, Mr. Chair, the answer is $46.5 billion. How much did the government miss that estimate by last year?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, it's of public record. If the member... I know there's not much time left for good questions, and I know that he wants to have good answers, but the time is going, Mr. Speaker. The things which are in the public domain...
Calgary Centre.
Thank you. The answer, of course, is $2 billion more than they forecast in the estimates last year. How fast has that interest expense grown over the past 10 years to the minister?
The Honourable Minister.
My colleague will be happy to look at the public debt charge as a percentage of nominal GDP, and you will see that over the last decade, they've always been around the range of 1 to 1.5%. Mr. Speaker, it's a great position to be in when your country.
Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
The answer is $25.6 billion. We've nearly doubled in 10 years. Of that amount, the $49 billion, what does it represent for each of the 16.9 million Canadian households in Canada? To the Minister.
Minister of Finance.
As he wants to talk about number, I'll go to the number. In 2023-24, the percentage of GDP, the public debt charge, the percent of nominal GDP was 1.2. In 23-24 was 1.6. So, Mr. Speaker, Canada is in a very enviable position as a member of the G7.
Honourable member for Calgary Centre.
It's $2,900 per Canadian household. How much did each Canadian household spend on interest on Canadian government debt 10 years ago?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
10 years ago, so let's look at the chart. 10 years ago, the public debt charge were $24.2 billion, Mr. Speaker, and represented 1.2% of GDP. If you look at 23-24, they represent 1.6%. That's why I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, Canada has been consistently, maintaining a low level. As
Calgary Centre.
33%.
The answer, of course, is $1,800 per household, so it's gone up significantly. The Parliamentary Budget Officer foresees the interest on Canadian government debt growing by around 10% per year for the foreseeable future. Does the minister see the economy growing by 10% per year?
Honourable Minister.
As a Minister of Finance, you would always want to see the economy growing because that's allowing us to provide services, to have revenues, to provide services and transfer to Canadians and to provinces and territory. I think my colleague also wants to see revenues growing.
Member.
Does the minister see the government's taxation revenue growing by 10% per year?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as a Minister of Finance, you would always appreciate that you want to see revenues because revenues allow us to deliver services to Canadians, and obviously we will continue to be fiscally prudent, but at the same time to look at ways where we can support Canadians.
The Honourable Member.
Given this, does the minister understand that he's inherited a debt spiral from his Liberal predecessors in finance?
The Honourable Minister.
Inherited in what we all have as Canadians, we have a country which has a AAA credit rating and the lowest debt to GDP. Mr. Speaker, we should be very, very proud because I was at the G7 meeting. I wish next time I might invite him, actually. He will see how the G7 colleagues appreciate Canada.
The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
Is it the minister's plan to kick this debt spiral problem down the road?
The Honourable Minister.
Just talking about the G7, I intend to continue as the chair of the G7 Finance Ministers meeting and Central Bank Governors. We continue to provide leadership. We even come out with a communique in Banff, Mr. Speaker. We were more than what people expected. We came out with a community. Make sure that we work together.
Is it the minister's plan to masquerade Canada's debt problem with the reclassification of debt announced by the Prime Minister?
Honourable Minister.
Speaker, again, the member should be taking comfort in his heart that Canada, with a AAA credit rating, is the only country with Germany in the G7 which has that fiscal position. That is a very strong position, and that's why you should be happy to have a finance minister with fiscal discipline.
Deputy.
Oh, yeah.
Honourable member for Calgary East.
Through you, Madam Chair, the Prime Minister in his own speech said that they would cap government spending at 2%. It only took an hour and a half after that, when main estimates were released by this minister, that they are going to spend at 8%. Can the minister confirm that the deficit won't be larger than the $46.8 billion that was projected in their Liberal platform?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, the member is an experienced member. You would have seen that the budget deficit in the fiscal monitor from April to March 2025 is at $43.2 billion.
Honourable member.
Can the minister confirm today that when the budget comes out this fall, it won't be $1 over that?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, I'm happy to confirm what the member can read in the fiscal monitor. The number in the fiscal monitor from April to March 2025 in terms of budget deficit is $43.2 billion.
Member.
Can the minister tell us how much his government will borrow to cover the debt for the new spending this year?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, the member would note that we are very fiscally prudent, and with our team, we're managing the finance of Canada in the way that, we're bringing.
The Honourable Member.
Just the number. How much will the minister's government borrow this year on the debt?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, my colleague would be pleased because I know he's a man who likes the number. He will be pleased to see that we have the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7, a great position.
The honourable member.
Desjardins is predicting that that number could be $600 billion. What will that do to debt interest costs? Will it go up or down?
Minister.
Madam Speaker, again, the member will be very pleased to know that Canada is one of the very few countries. Actually, there's only 2 countries in the G7 which have a AAA credit rating. Canada is one of them. You should be very proud of that.
Member.
My question, and in the FES, the total debt shows $1.27 trillion. That means the amount that's going to be borrowed will be half of that total debt that Canada has. Can the minister confirm whether the debt interest costs in the budget will go up or down?
Minister.
Sure, the colleague will be happy to learn that the public debt charge as a percentage of nominal GDP, if you look at the last few years, more than a decade, is always around 1.5%. Madam Speaker, this is going to be, it's a...
The honourable member.
Sure, this isn't very hard. The minister can easily answer. Will debt interest costs this year go up or down from what was projected?
Yeah, I think so. The honourable minister.
The member would be pleased to see that in 23-24, the percentage of the public debt charge as a percentage of nominal GDP was 1.8%. This is a great position to be in as a country.
Member.
Here, obviously, this number must be very bad that the minister keeps avoiding the answer to a very simple question. This current Prime Minister is projected to spend more than Justin Trudeau by more than $225 billion over the next 5 years. How big will the debt servicing costs get? Just the number.
Honourable member.
Madam Chair, I hope that the member will have seen that this is a new government with a new Prime Minister, a government with ambition, a government that wants to build a Canada strong, a government that's going to build the infrastructure that's going to need to be resilient in the economy of
the honourable member.
Budgeting officer is projecting that in year 2029, 2030, the debt servicing cost will be $70 billion. Last year, the debt servicing was more than what goes to healthcare transfers to the provinces. Can the minister confirm that at $70 billion, will that be more or less than what gets transferred to the provinces in healthcare transfers?
Minister.
Speaker, again, the member should take comfort in the fact that Canada has the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7 and a AAA credit rating, Madam Speaker. Only Germany and Canada G7 can have that rating. So it's a great position.
The honourable member.
Is it fair to the minister that bankers and bondholders are getting more money than what goes to the provinces for healthcare transfers? Is that compassionate to this minister?
The honourable minister.
Madam Chair, my colleague would be pleased to see that in the estimates that we publish, the Canada Health Transfer will increase by $2.6 billion, Madam Chair. That's going to be important to support.
The honourable member, a very, very brief question.
Will the amount that goes to the provinces in healthcare transfers be more or less than the debt servicing costs next year?
Honourable minister.
Madam Chair, colleague will be happy to learn that in fiscal equalization we'll have an increase of $916 million, Madam Speaker. So they're going to be transferred to support
the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Oh, yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up right there. What do you think about our finance minister? The shadow minister, Jasraj Halan, big fan. The other conservative MPs, appreciate. Great work. Kyle Cpac, a lot of fun. FPC is a special type of person. He has skills that most people don't have. I'm not going to say what they are, but he has, I guess we'll call it a talent. My name's Aaron, Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe, get notified. Come and join us for one of the live question periods. We cover that stuff. We stream it live, do a fun broadcast. That's it, guys. Got to get ready. Got to go to bed. Have a good night. Thank you for watching the video. Catch you in the next one.